Okay, I've taken everybody's picture just now. I will take another one at the end, and if you look smarter after this session, I am taking full credit for it. So I think that's really important. It's kind of a quality check. What we're going to talk about this morning is things that are going to help you at home, with your family, with your friends, as a leader, and to be a good teammate wherever you're working. How many of you are in a supervisory role? Raise your hand. Okay, good number. All right, so we got a good mix today. Now, Mark asked me for a Christmas message. So I said, okay, I can do that. What does Santa bring in his sleigh? Come on, it's early, folks. We have toys, gifts, thank you. So what we're going to focus on today is what are you bringing in your sleigh when you get up and leave the house every day? What's packed in yours? And that's going to be what we want to focus on. Now, we'll start at your house. Oh, we'll start at your house. How many folks here live with somebody that you could possibly have a bump with before you go out the door? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. All right, decent number. If you don't live with anyone, is there a pet that could cause you a bump, or is there somebody could call you on the phone and get you stirred up, a friend, a relative, somebody, right? Did you raise your hand? Oh, all right. So my wife raised her hands. Clearly she was referring to the pugs that live at the house. So do you then pack that? Whatever that bump is, does that get packed in the back of your sleigh as you head off wherever you're going, to work, to a volunteer thing, to a group? Does that energy get packed into your sleigh, and do you then start leaving that for other folks? If you're driving your sleigh to work and somebody pulls out in front of you, do they make you mad, or do you choose to be mad? Well, I would argue that you're choosing to be mad. But again, does that go in the back of your sleigh? So when you arrive at your destination, are you bringing a sleigh full of, I got mad at my spouse this morning, people pulled out in front of me, I got a phone call that really frustrated me? Is that coming with you to that place? Now, if it is, here's the question. Are you going to leave that mad in the sleigh and go on into work? Or is that mad coming in the front door with you? Now, my career was consistently long-term care. People lived there. It was their home. That's where they lived. We were guests in their home. So if we bring that mad in the front door, we're bringing mad into their house. If we brought mad into our opening meeting, we're sending mad down the hall and into their rooms where they live. If you're teaching, that's coming to school. All these professions we've talked about, it's going somewhere. If we're retired, we're going somewhere and carrying something with us, and we're delivering it. So you're making that decision. Life is what you bring with you. It's what you bring with you. Every day when you get up, what are you bringing in the door? You're going to either come in with some positive energy and some positive spirit, or see if you know this. Well, it looks like they could have at least done this. Well, it looks like they could have at least done this. Well, it looks like this always happens to me. You got any of those friends? Have y'all got any of those relatives? Got any of those people? And it always, oh, I can't believe this has happened to me. And what do you think? Well, I can believe it because that's the only thing that ever happens to you. They basically find negative wherever they go. Years in healthcare, you guys know, those of you that have been in healthcare at any point, 2 diseases, 2 injuries, 2 illnesses, 2 people, exact same level, very different responses. There's some people always get sicker than everybody else. They always feel worse than everybody else. Everything bad happens to them. Look at the attitude you're bringing and the spirit that you're using. Now, in theme with my t-shirt today, which Scrooge are you going to be? I love the Christmas Carol. Are you going to be that early Scrooge or that be after redemption Scrooge? Are you going to have that energy coming out of the bed and the three spirits did it all in one night and isn't this cool? And after that, we're going to forever honor Christmas. Are you going to be that grouchy old man that was in the beginning that we saw? You know what those two things look like. And it can change your life, how you choose to get up every morning and bring that with you. Now, my wife, Terry, on Monday, this past Monday, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of our first kiss. Now, those of you on Facebook with me already knew that. But 50th anniversary of our first kiss, and I owe every bit of my success, everything I've done in life, I owe to her. Because she has been my constant inspiration. She is my constant energy. She keeps me going. People say, how in the world do you remember your first kiss? Because it was 8 months of we're just going to be friends. That's all it's going to ever be between us. And she had to kiss me because I knew the rules. It was, you know, I knew what the rules were. But I forever remember that day because it took me 8 months of work to get there. And I'm pretty stubborn, but I hung in there. But let's talk for a minute about Terry Slay. Let's give you an example. She was going by Bojangles and getting a tea every morning. Well, then she came home and she said, yeah, they were kind of frustrated with me at Bojangles. I thought, why in the world would they ever be frustrated with you? Well, I've been praying with the girls. One of the moms had cancer, and I've been doing this, and I've been checking on them on all this stuff, and I've been doing all these things. And they wanted to give me my tea for free, and I was arguing about it because I didn't want free tea every day. I wanted to pay for it. I thought, you know, that's what comes from packing the good stuff in your sleigh. They try to give you free tea. You know, that's what comes. But, you know, she's got that conversation of lifting those folks up on the way to work. How is she going to feel going in that door? Versus somebody, I can't believe they changed the price on the tea again. This always happens to me. Or they couldn't get my change right. Or I asked for sweet tea and they give, you know, y'all know those folks, right? Y'all know those folks. You're choosing what you're bringing with you. You're choosing what you're bringing with you. She and I have a habit. We probably between 200 and 300 times in our life have asked for the manager at a restaurant. Now, why do you ask for the manager at the restaurant?
Usually to complain.
I'm sorry?
Usually to complain.
Yeah. Say it's 250 times. How many times do we do that to complain? 0. Never one single time. We have always asked for the manager to tell them how exceptional the service was from that person. Now, if it's not exceptional service, we don't do it, obviously. And then they come out, the manager comes out kind of like this, and they ask the server, and it's like, good Lord, I thought it went well. We had a good time. I don't know what happened. The manager's out there a little sheepish. But it lifts everybody when you leave good feedback. We can do that in life. We can leave places better than we came. We have that opportunity. That's what happens when you put good energy back in things. We get what we bring with us. She's got me trained now. Food line, I'm talking to everybody. You know, she sends me to get something, I don't know what it is. So I try to pick somebody who looks old enough, they might cook, so I can ask them about it, you know. And you know, you're trying to do those things, trying to figure it, but I'm making friends all up and down the aisles. And you know, when you leave, it's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. So, back to where we started. You have pulled your sleigh into work. I always circled my building. Now, at Friendship, we had 373 beds at the time, but I still circled that building. And the way I talk, it was hard for me to get around quick, but I circled that building. I looked for a tear in the eye. We got to help each other. We got to feel each other. That's what family does. So when you get to work, circle that building. Circle that building. Make one little lap around. Make eye contact with each of those folks. Connect with them. See where everybody is today. See who might be having a rough day. And then think, I need to focus on that. Something may go wrong at some point in time later, and you'll think, oh, I wish I'd have Talk to them ahead of time because I could tell they were kind of off to a rough start. Now, you can't do any of that if you brought that junk out of your sleigh of negativity. That's the whole reason we started this process, with being aware of what we were bringing in, so we come into that workplace. Leaders, if you don't want them talking about you behind your back, show them your front. The best way not to be talking about behind my back is get your front out there. If all they see is your front, they can't talk behind your back. They need to see you and be out there and touch, circle around, and don't circle around and screw it up. Circle around and smile. The one thing most important from a leader, talk to me for a minute about that ball game my kid had this weekend, about my dog, about that trouble I've been dealing with. Give me 30 seconds on that before you start on your junk. Now, if you're the supervisor, have you got junk they need to do? Yes. That's why they call it work, right? So there's junk they need to do. And you come in, and what are you thinking about on the way to work? You're probably thinking about that junk. But before you start in on the junk, do that 30 seconds. Do that 30 seconds of touching. Do that little bit of touch, so we're kind of off to a good start. People will say, if they'll smile, they talk to me for a minute, they'll do something before they start to jump, we'll get off to a so much better start. Now, every one of you has these skills. When you go in, can you not go into McDonald's and see who's having a good day and who's having a bad day back there behind that counter? Can you not go into McDonald's and see who's running the place? And I don't mean the manager. Can you not see who makes that whole place work? Can you not feel those things? You can. You've got that ability. You've got that ability to assess the feel of a place. Use that in your daily life. When you go in, feel the spirit of the thing. Feel that, and then use that feel. And I'm kind of fanatical about that, so I am pretty bad about looking at that all the time. But, you know, that's an ability that you have. All right, long-term care people live there. So we'll use a long-term care example, if you forgive me, because these things they apply all apart life, including they apply to your personal life. But your workplace probably looks something like a nurse's station. The birds are singing. The squirrels are dancing around singing Disney songs, right? The staff is just kind of swaying back and forth because they're so happy to be at work today. And then here she comes. Boom. Crack of thunder. Flash of lightning. The flowers in the vase wilt as she walks past. The wallpaper begins to peel off the wall. Mamas grab their babies and run to safety. The birds and the squirrel fall over dead. Have y'all ever worked with that lady? Raise your hand if you've ever worked with that lady. Have you ever been that lady? All right, that's good. Nobody raised their hand, so at least you didn't admit it. If mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. What does that do to your workplace? What does that do to your workplace? That's not rhetorical. Somebody answer. Yep. It's not what you need. You might, well, I don't know what her mood is today. Let's send that new kid we just hired in, and if he dies, then when nobody else will go in until she gets her coffee, right? It destroys your day. This is all about energy. It's all about which Scrooge are we going to be today. It's all about what are we packing in our sleigh. Now, what happens if we have a miserable day at work? What happens if we have a miserable day at work? We pack that in the sleigh and take that home. We pack that in the sleigh and take that home. Now, I'm not going to let Ms. Dowdy speak today because she talked about all those times I had a crummy day at work and brought that in the house. And so we go all work hard not to do that. Somebody in this room, one of my friends just the other day told me that their stepdaughter called at 11:55 to talk to their dad about something terrible that happened at work. 11:55 p.m. That was weighing on her. She's having a miserable night. That might have happened first thing in the morning. And here at almost midnight, she was still upset and focused on that thing from that day. You get what you bring. All right. I want to break this down for a minute. I made this up. A whole lot of these things I've gotten somewhere. Some of the stories you hear today I got from 1983, literally. And I like them so much I'm still using them. This I actually made up. I'll take credit for this one. And that is, I think getting along, it's kind of a leadership fundamental, but it's a getting along in the world fundamental. And it's very simply care. C-A-R-E. All right, let's break that down. All right, the C in care is communication. The old rule, a lot of you are familiar around, this has been around since the 70s, or maybe before that. Body language is 55% of communication. 55% of your communication comes from the body language. 38% is from the rate, pitch, tone of my voice. Only 7% is the words. But yet, what do people say all the time? Well, I just can't find the words. I can't find the right words. Well, that's only 7%. That is only 7% of what happens. So, let's try it out. Abby, is that good? Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Stan, thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. All right. Were those same words? Exact same words, right? Was the message the same? Why not? What was different?
We interacted here, yes and there.
You felt it. You felt positive. You didn't feel positive at all, did you? No. And no disrespect to say it, Stan Huffman is the greatest supervisor I had in 40 years. He's a wonderful leader. He did a great job, and it was my honor to work for him. It is so important to take a second and do it the right way. A second to do it the right way. I didn't spend much more time on Abby than I did on Stan. Another second or two and I could have done the same thing. But I sent a very different message, a very different message. How many times you do this every day, cause yourself trouble that then you have to deal with because you're not thinking about those little pieces. Now, my other pet peeve, and I won't go off too far on this because I'm trying to watch my time, but you got to be really careful, really careful about emails and text because they're even worse. Text is the very worst. And then I've seen supervisors who just didn't want to face difficult things and they text it. You got to do face-to-face. If I've got to give you a bad message, if I'm your teammate, if I'm in your family, whatever, I need to sit down with you face-to-face. Phone's better than an email, but I need to sit down face-to-face. And flipping a text to somebody, I've just seen people, it's cowardly. It's cowardly to deal with issues, and you will not be happy with the results if you flip a text on a really difficult and challenging thing. I'm sorry, I'm starting to preach a little bit. There's a couple other general rules with communication. Tell everybody what's going on. People spend a lot of frustrating time not knowing what the heck is going on. I don't know if we ought to say this yet. You know, I worked so often with leaders. Well, we shouldn't say anything about this. We really shouldn't say anything about this. Good Lord, they all know anyway. Every work environment y'all have been in, don't they always know? It's kind of like, you know, I've learned about big things. I've run the day-to-day operations of companies before and found out from people something that was going on that I didn't even know about. So they already know. That way you get to put your spin on it and make sure that we're all communicating and talking. And the stuff that the staff makes up is worse than the truth. They make up stuff. Whatever you think is bad, they made up something worse than that. Now, we're going to transport you for a minute. One more thing on the communication part. We're going to transport you a minute into a bar. Now, none of you folks have ever actually been inside a bar before, but maybe Uncle Leo got drunk and y'all went in there to get him. So you know the concept. Well, in the bar there's a jukebox, and the jukebox, to play the jukebox, you hit the buttons, right? So we'll take a husband and a wife, and we'll put a jukebox in their house. Let's try this for a minute. We'll start with the man because he's innocent, because y'all know we always are. A2, honey, have you seen my keys? Now she's making a decision. B7, they probably where you left them. A3, well, it's so hard to find things around here in this mess. Oh, Lord, this man getting ready to die now. Although, in all fairness, y'all know we can't even find stuff in the refrigerator. I mean, we can't even find stuff in the refrigerator. Don't make me come in there and show you where that is, because it's right in front of you. No, it's not in here. Right here it is. And then she goes right to D6. Well, if two people clean up, then the house isn't such a mess. That goes back and forth till we get to when he ran over the cat in the driveway in 2002. Now, have y'all ever been in one of those arguments? Raise your hand if you ever been in one of those arguments. I had a nurse swear that this part of the speech saved her marriage one time. Now, I can't guarantee you that. Do you not know what song's going to play when you hit A2? When you've been married to somebody for 25 years, do you not know when you hit A2 what song is getting ready to play? So you make that decision, right? You made the decision what song you were going to play. So don't come to work upset, having a bad day because you made a bad decision. Don't hit that button. You know that man, you know what's going to play, you know that lady, you know what's going to play. Don't hit that button. And whatever you do, every one of you, if you're in a marriage, you got nuke codes. There's a nuke code you can put you, whether it's her mama, your driving, whatever it is, you know what that button is that will launch the missiles to destroy the world. Now, sometimes you get so mad in that fight, you think, well, I'm destroying the world. And there they go. But you're doing it, you're making that decision. You are making that decision. So that's my warning. Now, apply that to work, apply that to every day, apply that to where you're going. If we work together, we know how to talk to each other. We know how to talk to each other. If you want the day to go well, you know what's going to aggravate them. Let's not hit that button first. Is that fair? We agree? And let's remember styles are different. I was talking to Sharon about this, I think, last night. Styles are different. We all come at things differently. We all attack things differently. Some people work forever on a plan and have perfect plans, and it works most of the time. Some people, and I was bad about this, wing it. But while we're not as good, I worked for a whole lot of people a whole lot smarter than me my whole career. At least if something had to happen and it took 6 months of planning and it fell apart and now it had to happen in 30 minutes, they called me. Because they knew if I was going to wing something, well, we'll try something, we'll get this, we'll do something. So don't all those styles come together and give you success in life? Don't all those styles help your workplace, help your team get things done? So we just, as a general rule, work, marriage, wherever, know what buttons you're pushing, know how to talk to each other, know how to share, tell everybody what's going on. That's C in care. I'm watching my time. A in care is appreciation. Thank me every day for what I do. Thank me 10 times, and I'll listen to a little bit of criticism. If you're the leader or if you're a teammate, take all the blame for anything goes wrong. Give all the credit. Easiest thing in the world to do. It really makes a huge difference. Celebrate every little thing. Parents, celebrate the first bowel movement. Celebrate every little thing. Do that in work. Do that in work. You celebrate the first step of a child. Do that in work. Celebrate everything that happens good in the workplace. Have a little party for this. Have a little competition for this. Do some fun things. Keep people energized. Keep people positive. That's A, appreciation. Communication, care. Appreciation. R, respect. We're all in the lateral position on the planet Earth. I got several examples, but the time's not going to allow it. But don't jump to conclusions. In orientation, tell me what you believe in, not all the stuff that's against the ropes. I want to leave orientation knowing what y'all believe in around here. Have tough talk if you're a manager. Don't let people, oh, by the way, I need to let you go. What? Well, I thought I was doing okay. Well, you weren't. No, no, no. Tell them all along what's going well, what's not going well. Don't let people get surprised. You'd be surprised sometimes how quickly people will change if they know that aggravates you. Give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, I've had people say, well, you know, I got upset with that family because they were cussing me. You know, I don't have to be cussed. I said, what'd they say to you? And they'd tell me. And I'd say, well, I've heard you say worse than that, the drink machine. And they thought we almost killed their mama. Don't you think that was worth a little cuss? I mean, come on, folks. Come on. Be reasonable. Be reasonable. That's really, really important. What you want to do is make situations more comfortable. You're in the line. You desperately need to talk that person at the desk into doing something, right? And you're thinking, oh, they're probably not going to want to do this, but I need this. I need them to do this. And the guy in front of you cusses and carries on and throws a fit, and you can see the smoke coming out of their ears. And you're thinking, well, I'm dead in the water. This is not going to happen. Let me give you one. This is not my place in life to do this. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to apologize for that man. He should not have treated you like that. You deserve respect. You trying to have a good day. You just out here trying to do your job, and I want to apologize for him. I bet you get a better deal on that thing that you're trying to do than you would have 2 minutes before. Or if you'd come up there with that attitude. Treat people the right way. Do it for the right reason. Treat people the right way. The E in care is empowerment. I will work harder on my ideas than I ever will on yours. When I was in long-term care, we were remodeling the shower rooms, and they were going to call them the spas. Now, my grandmother, who was there till she died, and she was there till she's almost 100, she called them the car wash. If anyone has ever been in long-term care and seen, the car wash is probably a more fair, is that it? I see heads nodding. Car wash is probably a bit, but she called it the car wash. Well, we were remodeling the car wash, and we'd done some things in there, and they brought these plans in. They said, now, Greg, this is done by this national firm, and they know all about this, so you need to sign off on it. And I started asking a question. Well, you can't ask questions. They know this. I said, give me these plans. And I took the plans, and I walked over to my building, and I got my CNAs together that were on that unit. And I laid those plans down, and we looked at them. And I said, well, this work. And a dear, dear friend of mine who was very close friends with another CNA who just passed this year, but a dear, dear friend of mine looked at those, and she said, Greg, have you ever seen my butt? Well, you know, these are difficult times we live in, so I knew that was going to be a tough conversation. And I kind of ended up with, I know you have one. I may have been behind you once in the hall, but my vision didn't linger or what, you know. I was trying to get through that one. And she said, forget that. She said, have you seen my butt? My butt is not going to fit behind that thing the way it's laid out. And I looked at it, and it wouldn't. We redesigned the room. Go to the people doing the thing. Go to the folks doing whatever it is. Talk to them about how it's going to work. Don't think that you know stuff. Go talk to the people that are going to do it. Empowerment is critical. Look for chances to swap roles, swap duties. The greatest thing that I ever did of a manager is I worked in a bunch of different departments. I was horrible at it. I would have starved to death if I had to do so many of those jobs. But I screwed up the food line one day, and I went back there and worked with that. It was awful. But you know what? Everybody appreciated the fact that I understood what they were going through. Go in and share the experience. I know we're running down to the end here. I'm going to try to sneak a couple more things in. Where's Mark? Am I in trouble? Oh, am I in trouble, buddy? I'm trying to wrap. Okay.
Keep going.
Real quick on care, C-A-R-E. Find my passion, release my spirit, get good energy. Real quick, a minute or two on listening. It's helping in the office, and it's helping with your family. Mark Twain once said, wisdom is a reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you would rather have talked. And the best example of that was my mother. My mother did two things. My mother talked, and then my mother thought of what she was going to say when you quit talking. You'd be surprised how little she retained out of things, because that's the method she used. I learned late in my career, the reason I couldn't ever remember names is because when I met somebody, if I met Ray, while he was telling me his name, I'm kind of focused, I'm reading body language, I'm doing a lot of things that I thought were pretty sophisticated, but I didn't remember the man's name. So those are the kind of things that are helpful with listening. In the old men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, my wife has taught me this for years. She will state a problem. When your wife states a problem, I have learned, My responses are supposed to be, it will be okay. I'm reading these. I am sorry you're having to deal with that. And how can I help? Now, men, what are our responses? All you got to do is X, right? Because we're Mr. Problem Solver. If you give us a problem, then we're going to tell you, well, this is all you got to do. Well, that ain't the right answer. Now, did we spend a lot of time today on communication? Well, there's your way. If you're not taking anything else home, guys, take that one home with you. That's a freebie. So every story needs a listener. Don't interrupt. Let me finish my story. Stay off that darn phone. Don't get that. Don't look. Don't glance at your phone. Don't put it in front. Don't leave that phone alone if I'm trying to tell you my problem. Perception is truth. I may think some really dumb thing, but trying to listen and help me through the problem, you're not going to tell me how dumb that is in the first few minutes. That's not going to move the ball. Don't judge. Recognize my emotions. Don't say, well, at least. You know, I have heard all kinds of examples where somebody said, well, at least this didn't happen. Well, I'm sorry, this horrible thing happened, but at least that didn't happen. Actually, I heard from a counselor one time, the best answer is, I don't know what to say. I'm glad you feel comfortable sharing it with me. Thanks for your trust. So, in my coaching thing now, after a lifetime of mentoring, I'm learning and coaching not to try to give solutions, not try to give answers, but help people find their solutions. The one talking is the one learning. So to wrap, I'm sorry, I'm a couple minutes over. I'm skipping stories here. All right. In my TED Talk, I hope you guys will go on YouTube and look at my TED Talk if you get a chance. It's Greg Dowdy, LED. It's 18 minutes about leadership. Now, it's given in New Orleans to a group about long-term care, but I promise you those concepts apply to living life. So it's 18 minutes. I would love for you to watch it because it scores me a watch. Now I'm retired, so it has nothing to do with anything. I'm trying to keep that thing alive on YouTube. It'll score me a watch. If you hit like button, it'll score me a like. And if you just go nutso, you can put a nice comment on there. But anyway, remember, if you need anything, everything I do is for free. I'm sorry I rushed a little bit today and tried to cover too much, but I really wanted to leave a good Christmas message today. For the holiday season, remember, what you pack in that sleigh is what's going with you every day. Be that person that brings that positive energy. Don't bring that person that brings oh Lord, this always happens to me. Know which Scrooge. Let's be the end after the redemption Scrooge with that high energy and the spirits did it in one night and here we go. Not that negative Scrooge in the beginning. One of my favorite lines, the only people in life that you should strive to get even with are the ones that have helped you. I think that's a good way to approach life. And another thing that helps with everything we talked about today is I never started a new job that my mom didn't always say, go make them like you. And I thought that was a strange thing to say, but you know what? I think that was a good message. Go in there every day and make those people like you. So every day, think about what you pack in your sleigh and think about what Scrooge you're going to be. All right, I think I went 9 minutes over. But thank you.
Questions for Greg? I have a T-shirt that would be really useful for everybody to have. It says, I didn't mean to push all your buttons, I only meant to push mute.
Yeah. That's well said. That's well said. Well, thank y'all again. This was.
Quote that you gave just before you tidied everything up. Something you said. Can we write it down?
The only thing you should get even with, is that the one? Yeah, what was that? The only thing you should get even with is
The only folks in life that you should strive to get even with are those that have helped you. Yeah.
Keep asking questions, everyone.
And remember, you have a group, a church group, workplace, whatever. I've done orthopedic offices. I did a vet clinic in Williamsburg. You know, the one thing I usually try to do is talk to people about, tell me what some of the issues you're facing in your workplace. And we can do 1,000 different things. This was just 30 minutes this morning. And as I said, it's free. I'm just bored and trying to help my fellow man. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, we live in such a remote work world now, and we also work in a world where a lot of our staff are out and about in
Right.
the community. So when you talk about rounding, how do you translate that to the current work environment?
In a work from home environment, touch, again, are you going to be able to have the face-to-face part? Maybe not, although I would still look for a coffee somewhere or something. But if it's just not going to happen, I guess Liam works with folks in San Diego. So you know, it's kind of meeting for coffee is a little tough when they're in San Diego. But I think you just take a few minutes with a separate call that's not on the group call to touch with them. Again, the dog, the issue, the whatever, that's something that is personal. Also, when you're starting the call, that whole thing about saying good morning, smiling, having a little touch before you plow into your junk still very, very, very much applies. And I think that's very, very helpful.
Thank you.
But that's a fantastic question because the world has changed on that, and we have to keep adapting and trying to do that. And again, I know we're up against time. Anybody else? Well, thank y'all very, very much for the opportunity. Thank you for squeezing in here. This was good because we're all pretty tight, and I hope you could hear me pretty well. My very, very expensive hearing aids have been sent back off because they weren't working, and so I have kind of winged it on that today. But thank heavens I was speaking and not trying to have to listen too much, so it worked out okay. But again, God bless you. I hope y'all have a wonderful holiday season. I just want you to remember every day when you get out of the bed, what am I putting in my sleigh and which Scrooge am I going to be? And that will help you through the holidays. And you know what? It might help you through January and February too. Appreciate you guys.